Asking like, how did you get into waxing? And like, the honest truth is like, the shit fell in my lap and I made some shit shake with it. Like,
all these dollars all around, dollar bills, yeah. I feel like there's nothing in my way. Nothing sooner than I can breathe. As an few people can handle, and I walk like I'm honestly dangerous. Talk like I was a better angel.
okay, y'all, what's up? It's your girl K Slay back with another video, and this video I'm gonna talk about like my success story. Well, let me not call it a success story. Let me just call it how I got started, like a story or whatever. Because I'm not where I want to be yet, so I'm not going to call that successful, but I'm damn sure doing a lot better than I was when I was working a 9 to 5. So I don't know what you'll call that, but that's what I'm going to talk about, how I got up until that point, which is a really good point. So I first started my business in 2017. I'm from Rochester, New York. It's a small city upstate, in between Buffalo and Syracuse, right in the middle. So that's where I'm from. It's a real small town. Not much going on there or whatever. But, you know, started out in a call center like most people, I started out making like $12 an hour back in 2012. And then, you know, when you're in a call center, it's more likely you're going to keep bouncing from job to job. Eventually made my way up to $16 an hour. And then that shit just wasn't working for me no more. And then I had got laid off. I ain't never get laid off. Like, you know, I may have got fired or quit, but like laid off because like the job is closed and I got like no way to redeem my job. Like, that shit ain't never happened to me before. And I was like, damn, you like putting people in positions to tell you when you can and cannot get money. And like, that shit was not okay with me. I was like, you need to open up you a business, you know, get some shit going on while you still, you know, living at home, you know, with no kids or whatever. So I was like, I need to make the best of my situation and make some shit pop. So I like dipped and dabbed into mad shit because I was always like, you know, I'm good at shit. Anything that I don't know how to do, I learn how to do. And once I learn how to do it, like, I pick up on it just like that. So I know I could do that with pretty much anything if I like it. If I like it, I'll really like put the effort into it and I'll finesse it always. So I was like, you know, you be going hard for these 9 to 5s or whatever, open up your own shit and just go hard for yourself. So my business started out as a boutique, and what I'm currently doing right now has nothing to do with my boutique, but that's how I started. So, you know, I tried modeling, that shit ain't really work out. I tried doing makeup, that didn't work out. I tried like doing print modeling, like taking photos and, you know, just building a portfolio. That shit didn't work. And I tried being a stylist. That shit didn't work. None of that shit worked. And it's really because my passion was with my boutique. So I always just kept coming back to my boutique. So I was like, fuck it. You know, you getting laid off. I watched a Ming Lee video where she talked about how she started her business with $500. And I was like, okay, you know, just do it. Just go ahead and get your EIN number and open up your boutique. So when I got the EIN number, I'm doing my research, you know, looking at all the things you need to, you know, where your money going to be being spent at, advertising and all that other stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, you got this. So I was like, you're going to need another job. So I got 2 jobs. So I was working at a shoe store called DSW, and then I was working at another call center. But I was working at a bank. And the reason why I got a job at the bank was because I didn't know how to manage money. I was horrible at it. I ain't really know too much about investing. So I got a job at a bank to learn about that stuff. And the reason why I got a job at the shoe store was because at some point I do want a storefront and I want to ship out of it and I want to learn how to do it. So I got the job at DSW to learn how to do that. And I feel like that's better than learning a game for free. That's you getting paid to learn the game. So I always been working with that. So I'm learning everything at both of these jobs. I'm, getting my finances together. I'm getting shit refinanced. I'm knocking stuff off my credit, my score going up. And I'm learning what it's like to actually run a store. Dealing with, the client, the customers, their attitudes. That's where I picked up my good customer service. And then, learning how to advertise, like, what I'm trying to say. Like when to do deals, when to do discounts, how big to do them, how small to do them, who should they be given to, when should you give it to a customer, like, and let them be right. I just learned all types of stuff, and I always brought it back to my business. So at some point when I finally launched the boutique, I launched the boutique January 1st of 2018. And when I say I was dedicated, like I was dedicated. Like I wasn't going to the club no more. I wasn't getting my hair done. I wasn't getting my nails done. Like I wasn't doing nothing. And on New Year's, on January 1st, 2018, I was up taking pictures for my site. I wasn't even out partying. I was not out celebrating, drinking, taking shots for the new year. I wasn't doing nothing. I was preparing to launch that website when everybody woke up the next day. Boom, this is what I got going on. Like that's how serious I was about that shit. Okay, so January 1st, I launched my boutique. Now, the one thing about that boutique, and I'm going to keep it 100, the clothes that I was selling, I did not like them. I was just trying to be, like, trendy. I figured I could, like, sell clothes that I don't really like or whatever, but everybody wearing them, so maybe everybody will buy them. And then I could just make the money like that until I can afford to buy the stuff that I really want. And then it kind of like showed, because it was like, here I am selling clothes that I wouldn't be like caught dead in. Like would not want to put that up in my closet, would like really wouldn't pay for it. But this is what I see other people wearing, so I'm trying to sell it. And that shit just was not working out. It just wasn't working out. And then like me working a second job, because that call center job is what paid the bills. And that part-time DSW job is what was funding the business. So that check was so small. Like every 2 weeks, I'm getting like $300, $200, $250. Like that wasn't no money, because I got to sit here and figure out, okay, so are you buying inventory this week, or are you paying pages to promote this week? Like it was always a flip-flop. And then I only got paid every 2 weeks, so only one or the other was happening like once or twice a month, and that shit just wasn't enough. So I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to work a little bit more to make more money. So now I'm working more, and people hitting me up about clothes like, oh, do you have this? Can I come pick this up? Da 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 da. And I'm at work and I can't pick up the phone. Like I'm not available to run to anybody and make some money. So I'm like, okay, now you got to cut back on your hours. So now I'm cutting back on my hours. Now I don't got no money. And it's like, it just felt like it was a lose-lose situation. It was like, you got to find something else that you know how to do that's still going to revolve around your brand, still build your brand as a person, and make you some money. Then it was a situation where, like, I came out with like I tried to start my own line, and I tried to like pitch it to like a Instagram famous person to promote it for me, and I got scammed. And that shit scared the fuck out of me. Like I'm like, damn, you just took a loss, and you don't even know how you're gonna bounce back from that, because you can't keep working this second job. It's not working out for you. So then that's when I came up with the idea of doing lashes. And then I hopped on lashes because I seen girls, bringing in like 10 bands a month off of that. I'm like, okay, shit don't look that hard. Put the lash on the lash, make it look like a little strip or whatever. I was like, we could do that. So I took the class December 30th, 2018. Took the class. The class was cool, but that shit wasn't for me. I said, I don't like this. The fact that it took me 5 fucking hours to do a set of lashes, no. My fucking neck was on fire, fingers all cramped up and shit, no. I was like, oh hell no, that shit ain't for. So I remember like being on my phone, and I was on Instagram, you know, just scrolling on my timeline, just minding my business. And then this girl named Bianca, the girl from Love and Hip Hop, she had went live. Usually I don't never look at people live, but when the notification dropped down on my phone and I tried to like swipe it up and get rid of it, like it opened up her live. And she was like laid out with like these suction cups on her butt with like some champagne and like strawberries and shit. I said, what the fuck she got going on here? I'm like, I like that. That shit, that look alright. So she was like, oh, I'm getting my vacuum butt lift therapy. I'm like, shit, I don't see nobody in Rochester doing that. What the fuck is that? So researched it. Didn't find anybody that did it. At least at the time, I didn't know anybody that did it when I was searching it up. And then I started looking for the class. And I'm like, that's crazy, because I literally just prayed the day before that I hope I find something other than lashing, because I do not like it and I want to do something different that everybody's not doing. I literally prayed the night before, and then that shit happened the next day. The shit was so fucking crazy. But I seen it as a sign, and I was like, nah, I'm hopping on every opportunity that come my way, and I'm going to see where that take me. And hopefully that just every single opportunity just take me to the next level. I just kept that whole mindset. So I was like, we just gonna look into it. Looked into it, found a class, seen that you had to be an esthetician. I haven't even went to school yet. I attempted a couple months prior, but I wasn't able to get financial aid. And they wanted me to pay like $1,000 a month every month. Like, I'm not doing that. No. Hell no. I went and took the class. I went and took the class in Baltimore, Maryland, and this was on Easter. So this was April, whenever Easter was, of 2019. And I went with my mom. My mom is my road dog. She be with the everything I want to do, she with it. So she took me to Baltimore to take the class. So I took the class. I'm like, all right, this is cool. I thought I was only about to learn vacuum butt lift therapy, because that was the only thing I researched. I got to the class and I see that I'm taking butt lift therapy, wood therapy, ultrasonic cavitation, laser lipo. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I ain't know shit about this. I was like, oh hell yeah. I was like, we doing all this shit. So I'm like, you gotta go to school, because you can't be doing this and you don't got no damn license. I was like, you know, bitches is gonna be on your ass, bitches be hating, bitches be telling, and all this other shit. I was like, no, I gotta get my licenses together, make sure my shit is legit before I start doing this. And then, like, by the grace of God, tell me why I ended up being able to go to school and not having to pay no tuition, because they were able to pull like some letter of separation from that job that I got laid off from in 2017. And the shit just happened to come at the perfect fucking time. So now I'm in school and I ain't have to pay shit. You know, I got a little student loan and then I got financial aid. I said, oh hell yeah, it's meant to be. We on this. So I started school May 6, 2019. What's that, like 2.5 weeks later? So that's that. Now we about to start school on May 6th. So back to the job, the call center job. I've been quit DSW to do lashing. So now we doing lashes, and now we got the call center job at the bank only. So when I told him I was going to school, I was like, is there any way that I could get like a part-time schedule, because I want to go to school? These niggas was not with that shit. Like on some you not trying to help me elevate. Like, you letting everybody else take time off work to be there for their grandkids and shit, and you letting other people, you know, go part-time to go to school, but y'all not trying to help me out. And I'll put it this way, it wasn't that many black people at that job. I was one of like maybe under 10 in the whole corporate office. Only 2 of us in the department that I was in, so it was like that. So I'm like, okay, y'all not gonna help me go to school, then I quit. This was the first time I ever put school in my career before a job. I always been too scared, because for some reason that that stability, that me knowing that I got a guaranteed check and it's good money, you know, $16 an hour, that's good money from like where I'm from. That's good money. So I'm like, I was always scared to leave that, but me being so scared to leave that is the reason why I'm not living how I want to live. You feel me? It's the reason why I used to have fucking anxiety pulling up in the parking lot. Like, a call center job will really fucking ruin you. Like, your social skills, your people skills. Like, you don't even like people no more. You don't like talking on the phone. You don't like texting. Like, that shit'll really fuck with your social skills. And it was mentally draining the fuck out of me. And I've been in a call center environment from 2012 to 2019. That's a long ass time. That's too long for my fucking liking. I quit the fucking job. I'm scared as a bitch, but it was alright because I already had another job lined up. I had an overnight job at the Amazon warehouse that started 1 week before school. That job ain't last longer than 30 days. They was trying to kill a nigga in there. No. I had to quit that shit, but I'm still in school. So I made enough money just to pay my rent at this suite that I had rented out to start doing lashes out of, because at this time I'm practicing on my friends and family, and I'm also starting to charge people like $65. So now I'm making a little money off of it, telling people I'm doing it for $50 or whatever, because now that's considered my second job now while I'm in school. So working at Amazon, that shit didn't work out. I quit that job after like 30 days. So now I'm back just doing lashes, going to school up until I want to say like August. And that's because I started running out of money. The suite that I had was only $150, because, you know, niggas off the internet wasn't coming to my house. So I had to get me a little suite, got me something cheap or whatever, comfortable, dressed it up real nice. And that's what I was trapping out of until I got out of school. So I started running out of money, and now my bills is like falling behind and shit. Like my phone bill, my car insurance, like everything is like falling behind because I'm only making enough money to pay the rent at the suite. So I'm like, okay, now you got to get another job. So I got another job at a warehouse. This job that I got at the warehouse, I got it in the inventory department. And the reason why I got it in the inventory department, because when I do open my boutique back up, at some point I'm going to have a big warehouse, and I want to know how to, you know, how that shit work. You know, how to count inventory or all the shit that they do. Because you at this point now, all my jobs is serving a purpose. Like, I have to be, whatever job I have, that has to pertain to my business too. I have to take something away from that job. I just can't be slaving for their asses, and I'm not taking nothing away from that job to bring back to my business to better it. That's how my mind is working right now. So got the job at the warehouse. That shit ain't last longer than 30 days. Yo, that standing up shit for 8 hours, that shit is not for me. Definitely not. Like, I've fell asleep standing up. No. And then with that job, I was still going to school. So this was like in July, August. At this point, I'm in school full time, by the way, Monday through Friday. So I'm working that overnight job from 10:30 at night till 7 in the morning with a little 2-hour break in between. And then I go to school from 9 a.m. to 4:45. So those 2 hours in between school and work, I was in the school parking lot sleep. Because me driving home would have been a waste. I would have wasted like an hour there going back. So I just slept outside the school. Like, my classmates used to be knocking on my window like, it's time to come in, school about to start. And then I'll change into my scrubs and go to school. That's how dedicated I was. Because, like, where was I going to get the opportunity like that again? To go to school and not pay while I'm still living at home and don't got that many bills? That opportunity wasn't about to come again, so I had to jump on it. Everything was falling in line too perfectly, not for me to just, you know, hop on it and just ride the wave all the way out and see what happened with it. So I graduated school October 2019, and now I'm like, okay, now you need a job in a spa. So I got a job at this spa called the Woodcliff, which is a real popular spa in my area. in the Rochester area. So I'm like, okay, we about to learn some shit. When I tell you this spot is so, like, it's outdated or whatever. I think they updated it now, but when I tell you this, everybody knows what the Woodcliff is. And it's way out in the boonies. So I'm like, okay, this shit about to be lit. So I went to my job interview, and they took a liking to my personality. But that always happens. I knew I was going to woo them with my personality. My hair was laid, makeup was laid. I was dressed real nice. I had to wear flats, though. That's why I hate job interviews, because you got to wear them ugly-ass, fucking corny-ass flats. But I was still cute, though. So I got the job. I said, okay, we in here. We in here. Make sure you pay attention to everything. Make sure you pay attention to detail, service, they clientele, who's making the most money, where the bread at, how that should operate, and make sure you pay attention to everything. I said, oh yeah, they definitely, they getting money in here. So I started working there in November, a month after I graduated, and I was working there all the way up until the pandemic happened in March of 2020. And when I graduated, I didn't pass my boards the first time. I passed my practical, but I didn't pass my written. So I failed my written in November, and then I had to take it again in January 27th, 2020 is when I took it again, and I passed it. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's fucking lit. I said, we done with lashes. Took lashes off my menu, and everybody was asking me about facials. So I'm like, I didn't really intend on doing facials. I just came here to get a license so I could do this body sculpting shit. And then of course I added waxing to the menu, because waxing was the first thing that we learned in school. That was the first week of school, we learned waxing. And I threw that shit up on the menu immediately. So I had the waxing, the lashing, and then I had the body sculpting, because I had announced that I was doing that all within the same time frame. So I got cotton mouth like a month. Damn, what am I talking about? Oh yeah, so everybody asking me about the facials. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna add facials. I'm gonna take lashes off, and I'm gonna add facials, because it seems to be a demand for it. So I'm like, and I think that'll be an easy thing for me to do, because I have problematic skin. I got acneic skin, so I think it'll be easier for me to do a lot of my own treatments, and you know, be my own lab rat, just to see, what will go on. I thought it'll be a good idea. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna do that. So February 8th and February 9th, 2020, I decided to give away 10 free facials and 1 free Brazilian wax. And I did it that way because Valentine's Day was the following week. So I knew I was going to get a lot of people, in the door for a really low price, because they trying to look nice for Valentine's Day. So at this point, I'm doing no more lashes, and now we about to bust out with the facials. And the reason why I decided to give them away for free is because I was always against that shit. I feel like when you tell people you doing stuff for free, people just come out of nowhere that never liked your picture, never shared your shit, never spent money with you before when they knew you was doing stuff for a fee. And then it's like, so I just was against it, but I'm like, shit, you not really making no money. You only getting like 2 clients a week, 3 clients a week. So maybe you should humble yourself and actually try something new and see what that will do for you. So I humbled myself and did that. Them Brazilian waxes fucking hit. Fucking hit. Like, and then those people that I gave away those free services to, I never saw them again. And it don't even matter, because that shit just brought me my whole clientele that I have today. So that happened in February. So now I'm taking off work. Now I'm cutting in my hours at the Woodcliff, because now I want to focus more on my business. So then the pandemic happened. I'm like, okay, what the fuck you about to do? Because your bills don't give a fuck about what's going on right now. You got to make you some goddamn money. and you need to start stacking some bread. You know, shit like this happening now I'm sitting there, I'm looking at shit different. Like, yo, you've been playing around for years and look at what the fuck is going on, and you're unprepared. That shit had to sink in. Like, okay, you need to like hit the gas and like stop playing. So I swear I made one fucking post and was like, I hope y'all not quarantined up with y'all man with furry pussy. And then the books went crazy. And I'm talking about, like, I went from making January I made like $300. February I made $600. And then in March I made $300. And then when I opened back up in April, I made $3,000. And then the following months was like $6,000, $5,000. I'm like, oh shit. Because when I was working a 9 to 5 making $16 an hour, I was only making like 2 bands a month. And then once I turned 26 and got off my parents' insurance, then that shit was looking real never again. Like, oh, so now that I'm seeing this working for myself, and I didn't even consider myself full time, because with these like Brazilian waxes and vajacials and shit, you could, what I'm trying to say, you could reach well over like 150 appointments a month if you're doing just waxing. It depends, but you could get to like 130. That's a lot of money. So for me to be making what I was making, and I wasn't having nowhere near those appointments, just imagine what it's gonna be when I do get there. That shit was crazy. So I like took that risk opening up during the pandemic, and that shit worked out for me. Damn, like I had 60 clients in April, and then by like October I was almost at like 500. I was like in the mid 4s, almost 500 clients, not appointments, clients. Like, seen mad people, learned mad different stuff, people putting me on. And at this point I'm moving from my smaller suite to a bigger suite, because I just outgrew that one like so fast. And it's not that like it was overnight, because it wasn't. I've been in business since 2017, so I've been in business for 4 years. So that the leg work is not overnight, but when you putting in that consistent leg work and you know what you want, next thing you know, you just fucking lit. You just lit out of nowhere. That's what's overnight, but you've been working for it and prepping for it, and then now that it's here, it's just like, oh shit, like shit is really starting to move. So I'm like, okay, the wax is hitting, the vajacials is hitting, them shits is my leading service. It's time to start planning. It's time to start planning to expand. So now I'm over here deciphering like what services to take out, what services to keep in, because this is what my whole brand fell into. People's always asking like, how did you get into waxing? And like the honest truth is like the shit fell in my lap. Like I was really supposed to be just taking a little detour to make my boutique pop, and this shit just came into this. And I found my niche, and I found what was working for me, and I'm just capitalizing off of it. Like, and I've been through some shit on the way, like that's the shit that come with it. You're not gonna be friends with the same people that you started with, and like that's okay. At some point people just gonna have their own path. Just take shit for what it is, learn them lessons, and just move on and keep going to the next level. So right now, like I'm in a real like comfortable position, and like it's only getting better, and I know that shit happening soon. Like that shit is coming like real soon. Like when I first started getting serious about what I'm doing, like I started reading like a lot of financial books, and a lot of financial books also shaped like my whole way of thinking, how I am with finances, everything. Like all that shit plays a role in your success. Like you don't even got time to be hating on nobody. checking on nobody, seeing what other people got going on, because your shit thriving so well. Like, fuck them. Fuck what they got going on. Your shit is lit. And for all you know, you too busy trying to watch them. Whole time they watching you. They can't keep their eyes off you. And you too worried about what's going on behind you. You just gotta push through that shit. Stay positive. Stay focused. And, like, that shit's gonna come. And I still, like, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I feel like I'm just getting started. Like, I'm just getting started, and I got all this other shit lined up. And I'll never forget, it was this Tyler Perry video that I watched. And he was like, the problem is with a lot of people, they trying to plant, like, too many seeds. Like, they want to do this, they want to do this, and they want to do this. And they was like, when you plant them seeds, you got to water it. And they was like, how is it? He said, how is it going to grow if you dividing your water between these different seeds? When you could just plant one seed and put all your water, which is your energy, into that one seed and watch it grow into a tree. And then when it grows into a tree, the branches are going to be those other hustles that you want to pursue. And it's all just going to fall in line the way it's supposed to fall in line if you just put your focus into that one thing. And that always stuck with me. I watched that video before the Ming Lee video in 2017, and that shit always stuck with me. And everything just flew in the right fucking position. And I made some shit shake with it. Like, that's all. I'm still, like, going. I'm still a work in progress, but shit really changed, like, in a year. That shit was crazy. In a year. 4 years don't went by, like, couldn't even tell. So, you know, I just wanted to tell y'all how I got started, how it's going so far, because everybody keep asking, and all my clients be asking, and I'll be telling them the same story, so I figured I'll share it with everybody else. But thank you for watching.
The bitch on and off of the cameras, type of bitch feel